Imagine catching a seasonal flu. Just, something entirely ordinary, but then it rapidly spirals into a severe case of bacterial pneumonia.
Oh, wow, that sounds awful.
It is. The infection takes hold so aggressively that your own lungs become a lethal threat. The biological tissue itself is actively killing you. So to save your life, surgical teams do the unthinkable. They completely remove both of your lungs, leaving an empty chest cavity, and hook you up to an artificial system, keeping you alive for 2 full days until donor organs become available. Welcome to episode 453 of AI Brief. I am Amin.
And I am Leah. Our mission for this deep dive is to give you a focused, completely jargon-free exploration of today's biggest breakthroughs. We designed this to get you perfectly caught up, synthesizing all these complex data sets into clear takeaways without getting bogged down in the weeds.
We have an incredible roadmap for you today. We are looking at supermemory hitting an astonishing roughly 99% on the long meme evil benchmark using a wild new ASMR technique.
Which is huge. And then we will cover everything else in today's AI and science news, including that exploding comet, the story of surviving without lungs you just mentioned, turning plastic into Parkinson's meds, and a light-twisting chip.
And we will wrap up with the top trending AI tools to boost your productivity. Let us just straight into it. Long-term memory is unequivocally the biggest bottleneck holding back truly personalized AI agents.
Oh, absolutely.
When you interact with an AI over weeks or months, you expect it to retain your preferences and your history. But most systems, well, they just lose track of older information or they blend contradictory statements into this confused mess.
But that barrier is fundamentally breaking. Supermemory just unveiled this experimental agentic memory system achieving, like you said, around 99% accuracy on that rigorous long meme-evil benchmark. Hitting that number represents a seismic shift in how machines process history.
That is a massive claim. How much history are we actually talking about here?
The mechanics are fascinating because it operates across histories containing over 115,000 tokens. To visualize that scale, you are looking at the equivalent of a massive, densely written novel. Normally, an AI forgets Chapter 1 by the time it reaches Chapter 20. Plus, this system handles chaotic, multi-session chats filled with inherently contradictory information.
So how does it manage that without crashing?
Well, what makes it truly revolutionary is that it completely eliminates traditional vector databases and embeddings. It relies entirely on a new orchestration technique called ASMR, which stands for Agentic Search and Memory Retrieval.
Wait, hold on a second. I need to challenge that. Every major AI company relies on vector databases to store memory. I mean, it is the industry standard. Are you saying they just bypass the foundational architecture of AI memory entirely?
Sounds counterintuitive, I know, but vector databases are actually part of the problem for long-term reasoning. They operate on semantic similarity. They look for words that mean roughly the same thing.
Got it.
The ASMR system abandons that entirely. Instead of passively storing data, it deploys active agents to analyze the information the second it arrives.
Okay, so the traditional approach with vector databases is essentially like randomly searching a messy filing cabinet by keyword. You hope that a specific word pulls up the right folder, but you often just retrieve a jumbled pile of irrelevant documents because they happen to share similar text.
That is the perfect analogy.
So ASMR operates completely differently. It is more like having a team of dedicated assistants actively analyzing, categorizing, and routing every single piece of information you give them.
Exactly that. The structure of that dedicated team guarantees the precision. It deploys parallel observer agents specifically utilizing the Gemini 2.0 Flash model during the initial ingestion phase.
So they are observing the data as it comes in.
Yes. These parallel agents perform structured knowledge extraction across 6 distinct categories simultaneously. After that extraction, specialized search agents take over and route the context into an 8 or 12 variant ensemble answering system.
Let us break down that ensemble system for the listener because it is a brilliant concept. An 8 or 12 variant ensemble is essentially a digital boardroom of experts.
I love that visualization.
Instead of asking one AI model to guess the correct answer, you hand the exact same extracted data to 8 or 12 distinct reasoning paths. They independently process it, compare their logical conclusions, and then output the objectively correct response.
They ensure superior accuracy through consensus. And this directly addresses the biggest challenge in continuous digital memory.
Which begs the question, why is it so hard for AI systems to manage time-based updates and contradictions in real-world noise in the first place?
It really comes down to the fluidity of human life. In the real world, your preferences and your circumstances constantly change. You might tell an AI to organize your schedule around a morning routine, and then, 3 months later, your schedule shifts entirely to night shifts.
So the AI gets confused by the conflicting instructions.
Precisely. Traditional systems see the old morning data and the new night shift data and become paralyzed. Real-world noise involves tangents, typos, changing opinions. ASMR solves this because those parallel observer agents actively categorize temporal updates. The ensemble system then evaluates the logical progression of those updates.
It actually understands the chronology of shifting preferences.
Yes, effectively reasoning through the noise rather than just matching keywords. And the so what factor here is huge. Because this system runs entirely in memory and functions without vector databases, the operational footprint is incredibly lean. It can even be embedded directly into physical hardware, like robots.
That paves the way for billions of highly specialized personal agents that remember everything about us and evolve continuously.
It really does.
Now, the rollout timeline is aggressive. This is currently an experimental flow, but the complete code will be open-sourced in early April, and soon after, it will be integrated into Supermemory's core engine.
Let us take a moment to shift our perspective now. Observing AI extract hidden knowledge from chaotic data sets really mirrors how scientists are currently observing and re-engineering the physical world around us.
Moving from the digital landscape out into the cosmos, we have a remarkable event captured recently. In a stroke of pure astronomical luck, NASA's Hubble Space Telescope accidentally caught a comet actively shattering into 4 or 5 pieces in real time this past November.
The odds of witnessing that are just vanishingly small. Space is incomprehensibly vast and mostly empty. Catching this precise moment of destruction is like pointing a camera at the ocean and perfectly catching a microscopic organism dividing in half.
It is incredibly rare, and this footage actually helps solve a long-standing astronomical mystery, doesn't it?
It does. It provides the visual evidence needed to understand why long-period comets fragment more catastrophically than short-period ones. Observing the exact structural failure of this specific comet helps us understand the massive gravitational and thermal forces tearing these ancient icy bodies apart.
Returning from the vastness of space back to the fragility of the human body, we have to revisit that incredible medical survival story I mentioned at the start.
The double lung removal.
Yes, a patient's flu spiraled into bacterial pneumonia, and the lungs were actively killing him. So surgeons completely removed both lungs and hooked him up to an artificial system for 48 hours until donor organs were ready.
That procedure fundamentally challenges our basic assumptions about respiratory dependency. Removing the primary respiratory engines entirely and relying on an artificial system to oxygenate the blood for 2 full days is a monumental achievement.
It truly is.
It acts as a massive new lifeline for critically ill patients waiting for transplants. It buys them that vital, desperate time.
From the surgical theater, we move over to the University of Edinburgh. We're looking at a breakthrough where scientists are literally turning a discarded plastic water bottle into brain medicine. How does a piece of trash end up as a pharmaceutical?
It comes down to synthetic biology. Scientists engineered E. coli bacteria to serve as these microscopic biological factories. The process starts by breaking down solid plastic waste into a chemical called terephthalic acid.
Which is very different from traditional recycling that just melts plastic down to make weaker plastic. Nature cannot naturally digest this stuff.
Exactly. So they hacked the genetic code of the E. coli. The bacteria metabolize that terephthalic acid and turn it directly into L-DOP, which is a highly valuable medication used globally to treat Parkinson's disease.
That is brilliant.
And they plan to expand this exact same biological approach to produce fragrances, flavors, and industrial dyes. It is a methodology that could turn a global pollution crisis into a lucrative pharmaceutical supply chain.
Controlling the microscopic world goes beyond biology, too. Scientists from Harvard just built a tiny advanced chip that can actively twist, tune, and control how light spins on the fly.
The engineering there involves stacking 2 separate photonic crystal layers. By layering them, the device distinguishes between left and right circularly polarized light with near-perfect precision.
So it gains dynamic control over the light's geometric orientation.
Yes, and the implications are massive. By analyzing how different molecules interact with specific spins of light, this becomes a powerful tool for identifying dangerous pharmaceutical compounds. Plus, manipulating light at this microscopic scale is the foundational tech needed for powering vastly faster data networks.
Let us shift focus from those macro-level scientific breakthroughs to practical, micro-level tools that you can explore right now to boost your daily productivity. We have a rundown of the top trending AI tools from the community.
Leading the pack is Moolerun, currently sitting at 130 upvotes. You can frame this as a powerful utility for streamlining or running your heavy lifting tasks.
Makes sense. Once you process that heavy data, you need to understand it, which brings us to Lightfield, with 95 upvotes. This acts as a utility for visualizing or illuminating complex data sets, pulling the patterns out of the noise.
Then we have Framer, trending with 103 upvotes. This is an incredible tool for drastically accelerating your structural, framing, or web layout tasks.
For the creative workflows, Design Agent by Lakuma has secured 56 upvotes. This is a highly specialized AI-powered design tool built to automate your visual workflows. It acts almost like a junior graphic designer handling the repetitive visual tasks.
Genie by Databox is also trending with 79 upvotes. Think of this as a magical assistant dedicated to instantly pulling and managing your data. You just command it, and it surfaces the metrics you need immediately.
Moving to the local machine level, My Computer by Manus AI has 21 upvotes. This tool aims to integrate AI directly with your local machine environment, connecting the reasoning capabilities to your native files and folders instead of just working in a browser.
For raw power, GLM5 Turbo is gaining traction with 11 upvotes. This serves as a high-speed, turbocharged processing model for when you need rapid computational speed without any lag.
Finally, Claude Dispatch rounds out the trending list with 15 upvotes. This functions as a central hub for routing and dispatching your AI prompts or automated tasks, keeping your workflows organized.
Running through all these practical tools and reflecting on that macro-level memory system brings up a fascinating point. If an AI can achieve 99% accuracy in long-term memory, reasoning through all the chaos of everyday life, at what point does your personal AI assistant remember your habits, your decisions, and your history better than you remember them yourself?
That is a profound landscape for all of us to navigate as these systems evolve. We encourage you to follow this podcast on your favorite platform so you stay caught up on the frontier of technology. Please share this with fellow learners. See you in the next episode.